that was very interesting on Tuesday and what happened of last week. So basically, I had to bring up an issue where they actually cut me off a Zoom meeting.
Get out!
From talking about issues that's dealing with the mayor and the principal of the school. When they're alleged that their cousin, Mr. Frazier, abused our children sexually, and it wasn't reported the right way.
Now, I don't want you to, hold on. I don't want you to get in trouble for saying that.
No, I said alleged.
It's a fact.
I'm going by
paper,
the
right?
FBI report that states
that
this guy Frazier,
you read that.
They had an address of where the mayor of Atlantic City lived at, and he was working under the direction of the principal of a school, which is his cousin, Ms. Smalls. And at that time, the FBI report stated there were several children sexually abused by touching genitals, by exposing their bodies. There's videos of children in this city that went all over the world, even with Japan. The FBI investigated this. I'm talking about their report.
You read this in the paper?
I have the report, the federal report from the FBI.
Right.
That is not something we're making up. Absolutely. And that's why I always say alleged.
Yeah.
But it's so deep that these things were just found out almost a year after this arrest. So now we're holding accountable the school board, because different policies in the school board that says about a person getting hired, about nepotism, different things like that.
They had the same thing in Pleasantville,
right? Yeah. But these policies are important because these policies what the board has to go through, and go through. So they hired a private someone to investigate it, an attorney to investigate it, other than the regular board attorney. Which is for the first time, I'm telling you that after the last meeting, they didn't think I was going to bring it up at the last meeting in December, because what happened, October, I went to the meeting, and the school board meeting, and I went down about the policy and how we want to make sure these children are getting help, and how was these families notified. Right. These was the major questions.
But nobody was talking about none of that.
Right. So after that, right, they said, well, they're going to look into. They took a vote for to get a attorney to look into it, rather than using the city attorney, the attorney that they have for the board. Well, guess what? Some of the board members voted against it. Now, why would you vote against transparency of some of the parents being notified about their children being abused, according to the FBI report? So after that October meeting, they had a November meeting. So now we're waiting to go back to that meeting. I get online because they said, well, I'm going to be in person. Went online, right? Had to give my name, address, everything. So now during the Zoom public meeting, I'm watching the meeting. Next thing I know, 2 minutes until the meeting started, I'm cut off. I tried to cut back on. It says only 300 people is allowed to come on. So they cut me off and try to justify it. Yeah. So Tuesday, when I got back on the meeting, I said that was very disrespectful. Me as a taxpayer and a resident, that you're not transparent.
And an activist.
And an activist, not transparent enough. And I appreciate that never happens again. Because one thing about me, and some people that are with me, we're going to be consistent, especially when it comes to our children. So basically, I told the board that, and I went down the questions again. They wanted me to email it to them, email it to the secretary, board secretary. I said, no problem, but you can listen to the tape in October, and you got the same questions. So, but they do have, and this is what I said for the first time, they do have someone investigating, and they're going to open up a hotline for all those children and those parents that was afraid of being retaliated against, or maybe you losing your job because you're talking about,
or even your child,
or your child. You know what I mean? So and it's for it to be confidential. They're gonna have a hotline, and I think that's a great step towards seeing some transparency while they're doing the investigation, and so those children can get some help. because that child that was abused by an adult like that can grow up to be the rapist. You don't know what he'll end up being, all because he wasn't heard or nobody listened to the cry and spoke up.
So let me ask you a question. They fired him after they found out this stuff, right?
Let me tell you what happened. After they fired him, after they found out about it, now usually it's a mandate. If you know a child is being abused by an adult, teachers, doctors, lawyers, it's mandatory that you report it to law enforcement and to division DCP&P.
Actually, it's law.
Yeah, right, mandatory law.
Yeah.
Now, from our understanding of what we know so far, it's alleged that wasn't done. So now, by that not being done, he wasn't flagged. So he was able to go and work for DCP&P. You remember? After he did that, so it's a question of what did they follow his record of working in the school system and the documentation of what happened, and then you're going to put him in another position dealing with our children of working for the state for DCP&P, which is called DIFAS.
Is he still in that position?
No, this is when it happened. After he abused the children, right? Sexually abused them, all that. So it wasn't a red flag at that time. When it was reported to the school, right? They basically fired him. So how did he get a job working for DCP&P after you get fired and terminated for hurting children? How? So the state is responsible too. How many children was hurt under the watch and on the hiring practices? Because I know people with bachelors and degrees in psychology and everything else want a job working, but can't get in. Yeah. Was it by who he knew?
Of course.
See, these are the things that need to be checked out. And the main thing, and I told them on Tuesday, that how many children and how was the families notified? And if not, they need to be notified and they need to seek some help. Even the people, especially the people that's involved with this, if you knew about it, you need some help and need to be in jail.
You know the reason why those board members voted against him? Because they felt that the parents would sue the state. So what?
That's not their money. Now, most of them did because, let's face it, most of them have conflicts of their family member working for the school district.
That's the other reason, yeah.
So if I'm getting retaliated against about a non-paid position and a volunteer position, they say, well, they know they would lose their job. Why are they making money? So these type of things.